But the loose shorts also has their downside according to sports scientist Hercalianta.
May mga instances na dahil sa loose yung jersey o yung shorts, sumabit sa kamay o sa finger ng isang opposing player at na-dislocate yung finger. So may mga ganong instances din. Kaya it cannot be too loose. Neither should it be hindering. So hindi dapat siya masikip. Kasi pag masikip na, ang hirap namang gumalaw. May mga sports na kailangan masikip siya because it needs support.
For Calianta, a uniform's functionality lies not in its cut or design, but in the construction of its fabric.
Pagka gumamit ka ng ordinaryong fabric like cotton, kukunin ng cotton yung sweat, tapos dadalhin lang niya, iipon lang niya. Bukod dun sa mabigat, meron ding risk of skin irritations. Kaya ang fabric ng mga athletic uniform, tinatanggal yung sweat mula dun sa skin, tapos dadalhin niya sa labas para mag-evaporate. Yung skin naman, dry siya. Kaya tuloy, ang nangyayari, hindi masyadong mahirap, at saka yung skin hindi nagbe-break up dahil sa masyadong basa.
Undergarments like compression shirts, sleeves, tights, and socks usually do the trick, keeping players warm as they sweat it out on the floor.
It provides proprioception. Parang in layman's term, bibigyan ng feeling ng bawat galaw mo, alam mo. In fact, most of the time, yung galaw natin is instinctive, of course, pagdating sa sports, lalo ng mga athletes. So there are instances na sa ating movement, pag galaw natin, muscles supporting the joints, relax. So ang nagdadala lang ng stability ng joint ay yung ligaments at saka yung joint sac. Pagka natamaan ka at that time, kasi huli yung pag-activate ng muscle, there is a possibility of a sprain or a joint injury. Pag meron kang proprioceptive, parang you're aware always of where your movements are and what your movements are.
So there's actually function to the form. These additional suits actually help players achieve the ultimate range of motion without fearing a possible muscle strain or injury. Billy Ray Bates, one of the most prolific imports in PBA history, was the first and only foreign reinforcement to have a line of signature shoes with his moniker. Local shoe company Grosby released the Black Superman shortly after Bates joined the PBA in 1983. It had its name and face emblazoned on the shoe's leather black exterior. These legendary kicks would later resurface in 2011 with the Black Superman 2 Special Edition as a tribute to Bates' induction to the PBA Hall of Fame. The 90s saw things move from keeping it tight to hanging loose. Players' fashions got more relaxed. But at the same time, the players' shoes, socks, and even hairstyles became more edgier and more flashy. And basketball icons, especially those in the NBA, became even greater multi-million-dollar trendsetters. Basketball sneakers are like cultural weather vanes. Every evolution is a pop culture story. Sneakers are embodiments of a generation's technology and aesthetic as well as attitudinal sense. But in the 60s, before they became the unofficial footwear of punk skaters and the whole gamut of young hipsters, the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star, a simple engineering of canvas and rubber, was the de rigueur shoes on the hardcourt.
Lahat ng basketball players, tignan mo yung mga lumang pictures na wala namang Adidas o Nike noon. Chuck Taylor ng Converse was the only shoes na available. Meron mga cheap reproductions sa Philippines, pero pagka naka-arrive ka na sa Rizal Memorial, Chuck Taylor talaga ang sinusuot mo.
Ageless big man Asi Taulava even tried making a fashion statement by wearing old-school Chucks in a PBA game in 2014.
I just wanted to go a little bit throwback, old school time, and that's what I reached back in one of my bags, found my I bought a pair of Chuck Taylors I warmed to the game. I was just supposed to warm up in them. But Coach Jolas started making fun of me, daring me. You're not going to wear them. You're not going to wear the Chucks. And that's when I decided to play with them on. And it felt great. It felt like I was back in high school, middle school, when I used to play in them.
Moves into Liming Bang.
But through the decades, as game dynamics and fashion sensibilities change, the basketball sneaker would pass through a great number of engineering and design evolutions. In the Philippines, just before the deluge of Nikes and Adidases, it was Grosby and KP. KP was the first homegrown brand to become the official shoes of the PBA, endorsed by some of the league's stellar names like El Presidente Ramon Fernandez and the captain Alvin Patrimonio. The earlier Grosby, on the other hand, signed up the Black Superman Billy Ray Bates as their brand ambassador. And because yachting tape was not yet a thing before, high-cut shoes became a necessity, primarily for ankle support. Yet as the game evolved, these kicks followed suit, combining technology and comfort to maximize a player's athletic skills.
May mga researches ngayon na sinasabi na kung high cut at saka mid cut at saka low cut, mas maganda nga yung injury profile ng mga players na nagsusuot ng low cut. Hindi sila madalas ma-injure. Kasi yung kanilang sense of security is with them. Ang ibig sabihin, they play with awareness. Pero pagka high cut at saka mid cut, akala nila they're immune to sprains. Pero hindi totoo yun. It is still within the body.
Most tech-driven kicks enhance a player's athletic abilities. There's one to optimize speed and mobility, and there's one to cushion impact from constant jumping and running. Each differ in the material and type of padding, support, durability, and design. All these, however, doesn't come cheap. But for Asi, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a pair of Jordans or Chucks.
But it's just like wearing Chanellas, where you can feel everything you're walking on. It's light, really comfortable, not as much cushion, very convenient. You just slip them on, laced them up, and went out and played. I actually enjoyed the game that night just because I was playing in them.
Did you know that in its early years, the PBA actually had an official uniform maker, Allendale Sportswear, which used to tailor the jerseys of the league's teams from the late 1970s to the 80s, started with the 170 peso capital as a shorts apparel shop in San Mateo, Rizal. But its owner, Mel Baro Sasot, expanded its operations and moved to Recto Avenue after securing a breakthrough contract from the PBA. Today, the Allendale Sports line can be found near Nepomuceno and Arlegui Streets in Manila. The owner, Mel Baro Sasot, by the way, is the mother of Pro Duterte blogger Alan Troy Sasrogando Sasot.